The Clockmaker's Secret Apprentice. English Story Level 6. In the bustling city of Marrowgate, where gears clattered and chimneys smoked, there lived an old clockmaker named Aldrin. His clocks were famous for keeping perfect time, never gaining or losing a second. People whispered that he knew more about time than any living man. Yet no one noticed the quiet boy who swept his workshop floor each morning. The boy's name was Rylan, an orphan Aldrin had taken in years earlier. Though Aldrin treated him kindly, he never allowed Rylan to touch the inner workings of the clocks. Instead, he taught him discipline, patience, and the value of observation. Rylan longed to learn more, but he respected Aldrin's silence. One foggy evening, Aldrin left the shop abruptly, leaving behind his master key, a thing he never did. Curiosity tugged at Rylan, urging him to explore the workshop's forbidden back room. After hesitating, he unlocked the door and stepped inside, discovering a giant, unfinished clock mounted against the wall. This clock was unlike any he had seen. Its gears were carved with constellations, and its pendulum glowed faintly, as though filled with starlight. As Rylan examined it, the pendulum swung once then again, and suddenly the workshop around him dissolved, replaced by a quiet cobblestone street lit only by moonlight. Rylan realized he had been transported to the past Marrowgate, as it had been decades earlier. People passed him wearing older fashions, and steam carts had not yet crowded the roads. Terrified yet fascinated, Rylan hurried back to the workshop, which now belonged to a younger Aldrin. When Aldrin saw him, he understood immediately what had happened. He led Rylan into the shop and explained the truth. The unfinished clock was a timepiece of reflection, an artifact capable of sending a person back through their own timeline. Aldrin had been building it to correct a mistake from his youth, but he had abandoned the project after realizing the danger it posed. Before Rylan could ask further, the clock's pull intensified. Time snapped back, and he found himself once more in the present. The workshop returned to normal, except for one detail. Aldrin stood in the doorway, aware that Rylan had discovered everything. Instead of anger, Aldrin showed relief. He confessed that he had hoped Rylan would someday find the clock, not to use it, but to understand the weight of time. He explained that time tampering came at a terrible cost. Each trip backward frayed the traveler's memories, unraveling their identity thread by thread. Rylan promised never to use the timepiece again. Together, they dismantled the clock, storing its parts in separate boxes locked away across the city. For the first time, Aldrin invited Rylan to join him at the workbench. He began teaching him the secrets of clockmaking, not time manipulation, but the craft of building precise, beautiful machines. Years later, Rylan became Marrowgate's most respected clockmaker. He never rebuilt the timepiece, though sometimes he looked at the stars etched into its gears and wondered what his younger self had seen. Yet he never regretted his choice, for he had learned the most valuable lesson, that time is precious because it can only move forward.